You ever met a woman who walks into the room and it's like time just stops? Not because of her makeup or the dress she's wearing, but because her energy feels light. Her presence feels peaceful. You can't explain it, but you feel it. She doesn't chase youth, she carries it. There's something deeper, something spiritual about the way she moves through life. And that's what I want to talk about today, because women who look younger, they're not just lucky. They're aligned. You know what really makes a woman look young? It's not her skincare routine, not her makeup brand, not even the number of hours she sleeps. It's her peace. You can spot it from across the room. She's the one who doesn't get rattled easily. She's calm, composed, and when everyone else is losing their balance, she's still grounded. There's a certain glow that peace gives you, one that no highlighter in the world can recreate. Because peace doesn't just protect your heart, it protects your face, your posture, your energy. It's the kind of beauty that can't be washed off at night. See, a woman who looks younger than her age has learned something most people don't figure out until it's too late. She doesn't let everything get to her. She's not available to every bit of drama, every argument, or every opinion. She's selective with what she allows into her mental space. That's her secret. She knows stress shows, and not just in your body, it shows in your spirit. It steals your softness, it takes away your lightness. And when you let too much of that in, it ages you from the inside out. But she's different. She understands that peace is not something you find, it's something you keep. It's something you fight for every day by saying no to people who drain you, no to situations that don't grow you, and no to habits that disturb your calm. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Because she knows her peace is her beauty. The way she breathes, the way she moves, the way she speaks, it all comes from that quiet space inside her where she refuses to let chaos live. There's a certain softness in her eyes, not because life's been easy, but because she's chosen not to let pain define her. She's seen storms, she's cried her tears, but she's learned how to dry them with grace. She doesn't let resentment live rent free in her heart. And that's the thing, resentment hardens the spirit. It creates tension in your voice, in your body, in your expression. But forgiveness, peace, release, those things bring back your youth. They relax your face, they make your energy feel light again. You might notice she smiles differently, not like someone trying to prove she's happy, but like someone who is at peace. Her joy isn't loud, it's stable, it's rooted. That's why people feel good around her. They can feel the calm she carries. It's contagious. And if you've ever wondered why some people just seem to glow for no reason, that's it. They're not fighting the world every day. They're not fighting themselves. They've made peace their foundation. And here's the deeper truth. Peace is spiritual skincare. Every time she chooses silence over reaction, she smooths out another wrinkle in her soul. Every time she lets go of something she can't control, she sheds a layer of stress that was never hers to carry. That's what makes her look young. Not denial, but release. She's not pretending everything's fine. She's simply decided not to let what's not fine define her. It's easy to think youth is about time, but it's not. It's about energy. It's about how much of yourself you give away to things that don't matter. A peaceful woman has learned to protect that energy like it's sacred. She stopped apologizing for taking time for herself. She rests, she disconnects, she breathes. And every moment she does, her spirit thanks her. Because peace is preservation. That's why, when she walks in the room, she doesn't have to try to look young. She just is. She radiates something you can't buy, something you can't fake. Her peace keeps her timeless. Her calm keeps her beautiful. Because a woman who protects her peace doesn't just stay young, she stays free. There's something powerful about a woman who doesn't chase. You can feel it before she even says a word. She's centered, calm, and confident in a way that doesn't need validation. While the world runs on noise and urgency, she moves at her own pace, steady, unbothered, sure. She's learned that not everything that looks good is meant for her, and not everyone who notices her deserves her attention. That kind of stillness is rare. It's not the stillness of doing nothing, it's the stillness of someone who knows her worth. When a woman stops chasing, her energy changes. It becomes softer but stronger. She no longer moves out of desperation, fear, or need. She doesn't have to prove herself, win anyone over, or force something to happen. She's learned to trust that what belongs to her won't need to be chased. It will recognize her peace and come closer on its own. That quiet faith keeps her spirit young because stress, striving, and overreaching, those things age you faster than time ever could. They wear down your energy, your posture, your smile. But when you start living in alignment instead of anxiety, your body and your soul both begin to relax. You can see it in the way she sits, the way she speaks, the way she listens. There's no rush. She's not waiting for a text, not checking who liked her post, not scanning the room to see who's watching her. She's in the room not for the room. That's presence. And presence is one of the most youthful qualities a woman can have. Because when your mind isn't scattered in 10 different places, when you're not always running toward or away from something, you start to glow differently. You look lighter. You look like peace. It takes wisdom to get there because we live in a world that teaches women to chase. Chase approval, chase love, chase success, chase beauty standards. But the ones who look younger, who seem untouched by the rush of life, they've chosen a different way. They've stepped out of that race completely. They've realized that their value doesn't increase by running faster. It increases when they rest in who they already are. She knows that silence doesn't mean weakness. It means power. Because when you can be still and not panic, when you can let things unfold without forcing your hand, you've reached a level of peace most people never find. And that peace is magnetic. It draws the right people, the right moments, the right blessings. She doesn't have to chase them because her stillness makes them notice her. There's a quiet pull in her energy. It says, I'm complete with or without you. And that message is beautiful. It's the essence of youth, independence, and grace. You might think she's detached, but she's not. She's just discerning. She's learned that attachment to the wrong thing will drain the life out of you, and she refuses to trade her serenity for temporary attention. She doesn't run after people who left. She doesn't try to convince anyone to stay. Her peace means more to her than being understood by someone who doesn't value her. That decision, to stay grounded instead of grasping, keeps her free, keeps her glowing, keeps her spirit light. There's a certain mystery in stillness. People can't quite figure it out. They want to know why she's not in a hurry, why she doesn't seem desperate, why she seems so sure of herself. It's because she's connected to something deeper than the surface. She's learned to trust timing. She's learned to trust herself. She's learned that chasing doesn't speed up destiny. It only exhausts you before it arrives. So she waits, but not in weakness, in wisdom. She knows that what's real can find her even in silence. She knows her peace is her power. And because she doesn't chase, she always attracts more than she ever could by running. Her stillness is her secret. Her calm is her charm. Because the woman who stops chasing becomes the one everything naturally comes toward. There's something you notice about women who seem to stay young no matter how much time passes. They don't hold on to heavy things. Their hearts stay light because they've learned how to forgive. Not for the people who hurt them, not to excuse what happened, but to free themselves from it. That's the difference. They don't let their ego stay in charge of their healing. When someone wrongs them, they might feel the pain, they might cry, they might even break, but they don't let bitterness settle in and build a home there. They forgive faster than their ego can react. And that's a spiritual quality most people never master. You see, when you carry anger, resentment, or hate, it doesn't just live in your mind. It lives in your body. It shows up in your eyes, your posture, your tone, your skin. You can't hide it because that energy sits deep in your spirit. The woman who looks younger has learned that lesson the hard way. She's had people betray her, lie to her, disrespect her. But she chose not to let that turn her cold. She chose softness over spite, and that decision, to stay soft in a hard world, is what keeps her spirit young. It's not that she forgets what happened, she just stops feeding it. Because every time you replay that story, every time you let it consume your peace, you're giving it power. You're letting something ugly from the past age your present. She knows she deserves better than that. So she prays, she releases, she writes it down, she cries it out, but she doesn't hold it forever. She lets time and grace do what revenge never could, heal her. Forgiveness, for her, isn't weakness, it's discipline. It's emotional self-care. It's choosing to protect her peace over her pride. Because pride might make you feel strong for a moment, but peace makes you glow for a lifetime. You can tell when a woman has forgiven, her presence feels lighter. She's not walking into new moments carrying old pain. She laughs easier, she loves deeper, she moves freely. That's the kind of energy that turns heads without even trying. And here's the thing, when you forgive, you make space. Space for joy, for love, for miracles. Bitterness clutters the soul, and when your soul is cluttered, nothing beautiful has room to grow. The woman who looks younger keeps her heart uncluttered. She clears it out often, like tending to a garden. She pulls out the weeds, resentment, regret, revenge, and she plants peace, patience, compassion. And just like a garden it shows, her energy blooms. She's also learned that forgiveness doesn't mean access. She can forgive you and never speak to you again. Because peace doesn't always mean reconnection. It means release. She's not trying to fix everyone or make every ending neat. She's at peace with closure that comes without explanation. That kind of acceptance takes wisdom, and wisdom keeps you calm. And calmness, when lived consistently, becomes beauty that time can't touch. Some people confuse forgiveness with forgetting. But she remembers everything, she just refuses to carry it. She carries lessons, not grudges. That's why when you meet her, you can't quite tell her age. There's a youthfulness in her that feels spiritual, not physical. It's the way she listens without judgment, the way she speaks with gentleness, the way she doesn't let small things shake her. Her energy feels fresh, because she's not weighed down by what could have been or should have been. She's here, present, whole. You can't fake that. You can't pretend peace. You either have it or you don't. And when you do, it shows. Forgiveness keeps your spirit light, your energy clean, and your heart young. Because a woman who learns to forgive quickly lives freely. And a free woman never ages the same way the rest of the world does. There's something truly captivating about a woman who feeds her soul before she feeds her mirror. You can tell she lives differently. She's not just focused on looking good, she's focused on feeling good. Her glow doesn't come from expensive products or picture perfect routines. It comes from the quiet moments she spends with herself. She knows that no matter how flawless her skin looks or how perfectly she dresses, if her spirit feels empty, nothing on the outside will ever shine the same. So, she starts from within. She's learned that the way you treat your soul shows up on your face. The kind of peace you carry, the gratitude you live with, the kindness you hold, all of it reflects in how you move through the world. That's why she takes time to be still, to pray, to meditate, to breathe, to ask herself what she needs, not what others expect. It's not about religion, it's about connection, about finding something bigger than herself to draw strength from. When she feeds her spirit, she becomes softer, calmer, more centered. And that inner alignment, that's her real beauty secret. You'll notice she's not chasing trends or trying to keep up. She's not comparing herself to younger women or competing for attention. She's not caught in the noise. Because she understands that youth isn't a number. It's energy. It's the way you carry yourself when your mind is peaceful and your heart is full. She knows that no amount of makeup can hide exhaustion in the soul. So, she pours into herself the way others pour coffee, daily, intentionally, without guilt. She reads things that inspire her, surrounds herself with people who lift her, listens to music that heals her, and walks away from what drains her. That's her ritual. That's her real skincare routine. When she wakes up in the morning, her first thought isn't, how do I look? It's, how do I feel? Because she knows that how she feels will decide how she looks. A nourished spirit gives her eyes a light that can't be replicated. You can't fake peace. You can't fake fulfillment. Those things have a vibration, and they translate physically. Her body responds to her soul's condition. When her heart is calm, her face is relaxed. When her spirit is full, her smile is real. She's not immune to pain, but she doesn't let it poison her. She's learned to turn solitude into sanctuary. When life gets hard, she doesn't run, she re-centers. She goes inward, she reflects. She prays for clarity instead of control. She doesn't drown her emotions with distractions. She listens to what they're trying to teach her. That's how she stays grounded. That's how she stays young. Because nothing ages you faster than running from yourself. And when she fills her own cup, she overflows with ease. She loves differently. She speaks with kindness because she's not running on empty. She has compassion for others because she has peace within herself. People feel better around her not because of how she looks, but because of how she makes them feel safe, seen, understood. That kind of energy is rare and it's unforgettable. The world will always tell women to focus on the outside, to lift, tuck, smooth, and conceal, but she knows the truth. Real beauty starts in silence. It grows in gratitude. It's built in moments of self-respect and inner peace. The more she feeds her soul, the more her face tells a story of calm confidence, quiet strength, and radiant joy. That's why she looks younger. Because she's not just living, she's aligned. Her reflection isn't just a mirror of her body, it's a mirror of her spirit, and when the spirit is fed, the body follows. When the soul is alive, the woman never ages. You can always tell when a woman has found that perfect balance between emotional maturity and spiritual playfulness. She carries herself with depth, but her spirit still dances. She's wise enough to know what deserves her energy, but light-hearted enough to still laugh at the little things. That's what keeps her young. She never lets life harden her. She's felt pain, disappointment, and betrayal, but she never let those moments take away her joy. She's grown through what she's been through, not grown bitter from it. And that difference, that's her glow. There's something magnetic about a woman who can hold both wisdom and wonder. She's the kind of person who listens before she speaks, but when she does speak, there's warmth in her words. She can see through people, but she chooses to love them anyway. That takes strength. It takes self-awareness. She doesn't live in extremes. She's grounded, but she still dreams. She's learned that growing up doesn't mean growing cold. It means understanding the world without letting it dim your light. When she walks into a room, you can feel her peace, but also her playfulness. She's not trying to prove she's mature, she just is. But she also hasn't forgotten how to be alive. She laughs from her heart. She finds joy in simple things. She doesn't need constant excitement to feel fulfilled. Her spirit finds beauty in the everyday. That balance keeps her radiant. Because emotional maturity gives her grace, and spiritual playfulness gives her glow. You see, when you lose your sense of wonder, you start to age. Not just physically, but emotionally. You begin to see life as a burden instead of a gift. But she never let that happen. She protects her inner child. She lets herself be silly, curious, creative. She still gets excited about small victories. She still dreams without shame. That energy is what keeps her timeless. Because youth isn't about how many years you've lived, it's about how alive your heart still feels. But don't mistake her playfulness for naivety. She's not blind to the world. She's seen its harshness and felt its sting. She's simply made a decision to not let it steal her joy. She knows maturity isn't about becoming cynical, it's about staying kind, even when you have every reason not to be. It's about choosing softness when hardness would be easier. She's learned that being wise and being light-hearted can coexist. In fact, they make each other stronger. Her wisdom keeps her steady, and her playfulness keeps her soul young. People are drawn to her because she makes them feel both safe and alive. Her presence calms you, But her energy uplifts you. She's serious about her peace, but she never takes herself too seriously. And that's rare. She doesn't gossip, doesn't compete, doesn't carry unnecessary drama, but she'll still dance in the kitchen, still laugh until she cries, still find joy in moments most people overlook. That's the kind of spirit that stays forever young. She's learned how to smile through lessons and not let pain define her personality. That takes courage, because the world will try to convince you that being guarded keeps you safe. But she's proof that openness keeps you alive. And maybe that's her secret. She's not aging against time, she's aging with grace, love, and laughter. Her maturity keeps her grounded, her playfulness keeps her free. That's why she stands out. Not because she's trying to look young, but because she never stopped feeling young. She's mastered the balance, the wisdom of a woman and the heart of a child. And that's a combination time can never take away. There's something effortlessly beautiful about a woman who lives in gratitude instead of comparison. You can feel it in the way she moves through the world. She's not in a hurry to prove anything, not trying to compete, not measuring her life against someone else's highlight reel. She's learned that peace doesn't come from having more, it comes from appreciating what she already has. That shift alone changes everything. It softens her eyes, lightens her energy, and keeps her heart young. Because comparison drains you, but gratitude renews you. You'll notice she's not jealous when someone else wins. She claps, she celebrates, she keeps her focus on her own lane. She knows that what's meant for her won't pass her by. That kind of faith keeps her calm, keeps her grounded. She doesn't scroll through social media feeling like she's behind. She scrolls knowing she's blessed. And that mindset doesn't just make her happier, it shows in her spirit. Because when you stop comparing, you stop chasing an illusion, and your energy becomes whole again. That wholeness radiates youth. Gratitude gives her perspective. She doesn't take small moments for granted. The morning light, her coffee, a quiet evening, a good laugh. Those simple things fill her up because she actually sees them. And the more she sees the good, the more it multiplies. Gratitude has a funny way of making ordinary days feel sacred. It's what makes her presence peaceful, her smile genuine, her aura soft. You can tell she lives from a place of contentment, not competition. And that's a form of beauty the world can't manufacture. The woman who lives in gratitude doesn't need to compare herself because she's too busy blooming where she's planted. She's learned that comparison doesn't motivate, it suffocates. It steals joy, it creates doubt, it makes you feel like you're not enough. But when she wakes up thankful instead of lacking, she glows differently. Her face relaxes, her spirit rests, because she's not trying to keep up with anyone, she's simply trying to keep her peace. And here's what most people miss. Gratitude doesn't just change your attitude, it changes your energy. It lowers stress, it slows time, it helps you breathe easier. When you focus on what's good, your body responds to that peace, your mind quiets, your heart expands. And that expansion, it's visible. It's what people call a glow. But it's really just peace expressing itself through you. You can feel it when you're around her. She's not the loudest in the room, not the one constantly needing validation. Her presence feels safe, genuine, real. She compliments other women because she's not threatened by them. She's grateful for their light and grateful for her own. That kind of self-assurance keeps her youthful because jealousy, comparison, and envy, those emotions age you fast. They harden the spirit, tighten the face, drain the energy. But gratitude softens everything it touches. It makes life feel full even when things aren't perfect. She's learned to say thank you even for the things that didn't work out. Because she trusts that everything she loses is clearing space for something better. That's not just positivity, it's spiritual maturity. It's choosing to see life through the lens of grace instead of grievance. And when you live that way, peace becomes your natural expression. Gratitude makes her unshakable. Not because life never tests her, but because she's learned that she can always find something to be thankful for, even in the middle of pain. That awareness keeps her light burning. It keeps her looking and feeling younger, not because she's untouched by life, but because she's constantly renewed by it. She doesn't live in envy, she lives in awe. And that's why her spirit never grows old, because a woman who lives in gratitude doesn't chase beauty, she becomes it.